and say good morning? All right, the meeting is now streaming live on Facebook. So good morning, Facebook, and everybody here with us at 1 Million Cups Atlanta South. We are the chapter that meets in the town of Trilith at Rome at Trilith, a co-working space that is so gracious to give us this room, especially not just space, but this room in particular. It's called Garage. It is the largest of the meeting rooms. And unfortunately, a lot of our regulars didn't come to fill in these seats this morning, but that's all right. What is 1 Million Cups? Well, 1 Million Cups was started by the Kauffman Foundation, and it was created to caffeinate entrepreneurs every Wednesday. So the rules are that any chapter that is sanctioned to meet has to meet on Wednesdays sometime before noon. We meet here at 9 a.m. And while the traditional 1 Million Cup structure is to have 2 presenters, which would be early stage startups, we typically only have 1 because 20 minutes of Q&A is just never long enough. We will fill the entire hour, I promise you. That being said, I just want to make sure that Rome is hearing me acknowledge them and thank them for this space. I want to thank my team at Jason Hunter Design for organizing this event and promoting it as well as they do. And Rome, I said Rome, Cody Media for the coffee, which is over there. If anybody hasn't gotten it yet, please help yourself. And Hero Donuts, we've got a box of donuts right behind me. If anybody hasn't gotten those yet, please, please, please eat the donuts because otherwise I've got to take them home. It's just a rule. I don't know. And Edwin Jarvis, who I always thank for flyers, even though I haven't actually taken them up on that for a while. I need to do that. Anyway, without further ado, I would like to turn over the mic. So, camera. Okay, I'm gonna flip my computer around because I can't use my camera.
Okay.
Technology, I can't have the mic wired and my phone wired because I only have one of these things. But you can't use wireless camera because I'm on AirPlay.
A lot going on.
I gotta call Apple. All right, let's start sharing. Real quick before I change the screen, can everybody check in? If you don't have time to do it now, I'll be sure to do it next time. You have that link still? Awesome, thank you. Great, so share and switch to you. I'll go bigger for you. All right. I'm going to turn my mic off until we have Q&A, so you're good to go.
Okay, testing. Is it good where it is? Okay. Good morning, everyone. My name is Karen. Oh, okay. My name is Cornell Grisby. I'm excited to be here, and I thank you guys for also coming to this meeting and to learning a little bit more about reaching what we do here in Fayetteville. So has anyone known someone to have an intellectual disability before? Okay, all right, spicy. Was it a relative? Raise your hand if it was a relative. Okay, classmate, a friend. Okay, and what about a developmental disability? Okay, so it's a pretty common thing that we have individuals that we live with in society who are experiencing some difficulties in just navigating the world the way that we do. And so what I want to do today is share a little bit about how we help those individuals live their best life. So are you guys willing to do that with me, learn a little? Sure, okay, awesome. So this is Reach. I started Reach in 2018, very proud of the work that we do, and again, excited to share it with you guys today. So click for me. So you're probably wondering, who am I? Okay, this is me. My name is Colonel Grisby, like I said. I got my school psychology doctoral degree in 2020 from Georgia State University. In the time that I completed my degree, I worked in private practice, and that's where I realized that a lot of adults living with disabilities have very limited services once they age out of high school. So if you're not familiar with the term age out, basically means that when a child has an intellectual disability or a developmental disorder, they are not typically receiving a high school diploma. So most of you, I'm sure all of you in here got a high school diploma, walked across stage, got the cap, it was cute, right? So my clients that I support will go to school until they age out, basically meaning that they're too old to continue their educational career and they now have to go into the real world and figure it out, basically, them and their families. So with aged out individuals, working in private practice, I realized that there was a really strong need to further support them once they got out of high school. And that was a good part of how we pivoted what we do here at Reach AKG. So I started the company, like I said, in 2018. We actually started doing tutoring. So if you've heard of Kumon, has anyone ever heard of Kumon, been to Kumon? Okay. So Kumon is very structured if you have children who have participated or things like that. And it's great for those that it works for. What I found was that students who were having special education needs in the schools be met, those were not being applied to their tutoring sessions outside of the schools. So pretty manualized settings weren't really working for them. So that's how we started. We did that for about 2.5 years until I got into private practice and realized that I needed to do more life skill development for individuals with special needs. And that's where we kind of changed the trajectory for how we support clients here at Reach. So this is what I do. I work my business full time as an entrepreneur and a business owner, and I love what I do every single day. So I'm happy to share it with you guys. Click for me, please. Oh, absolutely. It's a pleasure. Such a pleasure. So this is just some background information about myself. I am a West Indian native. I was born on the beautiful island of Dominica. If you've ever been to Dominica or to the West Indies, you should totally go if you haven't. It's a vibe. So I moved to the United States with my family when I was 6 years old. And from there have kind of lived the American dream. Go to school, work hard, get a degree, that type of thing. I realized while getting my degree that I don't like having a boss. I don't like clocking in. I don't like having to tell someone when I have to go to a doctor's appointment, that I really need to go to Target, those types of things. So I decided that I was going to be very intentional about starting my own business and doing my own thing, whatever that meant. I started selling snacks in 7th grade out of my duffel bag. I was the top selling snack provider in my middle school. I have to say, so much so that my principal called me in the office and said, "You can't do that anymore. It's getting disruptive." Kids were leaving class to come get the best chips that were not crunched in my bag. They weren't doing much, And for the school that I was in, kids want certain things. So I realized that filling a void early and doing it really well is important. So I've always had an entrepreneurial mindset, as well as being an immigrant and seeing very hardworking parents figure out anything that they could do to make multiple streams of income come in has been embedded in me since I was born, basically. So entrepreneurial work was something that was never taught to me in graduate school. I like to say I'm a professional student because I was in school for so much of my life. Like I literally was in school until 3 years ago. So I knew I didn't want to do that anymore, but I wanted to do something that I loved, and I wanted to also be able to employ other people. That was a passion of mine from a very young age. So I used my degree. I basically monetized my degree. That was my goal, to turn my degrees into dollar bills and be able to pay good people to do great work. So that is what I do. If you could click for me. Thank you. And then I created Reach, like I said. So one more click. When I began Reach in 2018, we were doing tutoring to support students who had individual education plans or IEPs. Is anyone familiar with the term IEP by chance? Okay. So students who receive IEPs, they have goals that are set with the schools to learn how to best support them. Once they get out of school, the needs are still there, but the goals are gone because there's no one to do the services unless parents go and seek out those supports on their own, which is really hard, by the way, to do. But as we pivoted in Reach AKG, we went from doing educational consulting primarily under my school psych background and the education background that we fused into the company. And we pivoted to what we call now family support services. Has anyone ever heard of that term? Raise hand for me. Okay. It's not the sexiest topic in the world, I have to say. So it's not often passed around in conversation. However, it's really important for someone with an intellectual disability or a developmental disability. So with Reach, we work with individuals from this population and we help them develop life skills to be more independent. So everyone here probably this morning got up, got dressed, brushed your teeth, did your thing, got in the car or Uber, however you got here, and you kind of navigated that whole morning on your own for the most part. When I work with clients in my office, they are adults, like everyone here, who want to do the same thing, but they struggle. They need a little bit more support and they need a little bit more guidance to make all those things happen seamlessly. And so that's why we do what we do. With Reach, we partner with state agencies. I've learned from the business side of things, it's really difficult to get parents to pay $175 a day to come to my billing and to receive services for their loved one, because that's a lot of money, right? And if you're sitting on that kind of money, you probably just want someone to come to your house and make it easier. But what I found is with our clients, they need the social skills, they need the group setting, and it's quite expensive to do that. The type of staff that needs to be employed to make sure that they're getting what they need is on a different level. And we don't babysit. So it's really important that we have good people doing great work, and we need money for that. So going straight to the source, I like to go systems level. and connect with state agencies who have millions of dollars in grants to support our clients. And sometimes it's difficult to get those funds, but that's where I have to advocate and why I would love to share that information with you guys today so you can help me rally to be like, give us this money. It's really important. So these are some of the agencies that we partner with now. The way it works is that they get an annual budget, our clients, and we provide services within that budget. So I'm sort of like their accountant. I have to keep up with how much are we billing, similar to insurance, how often can we see them, things of that nature. But in doing that, I realized that one of the most expensive things that I had to do was pay for labor. So hiring people to work was difficult. One, to find good people to do it, and then also to just pay them a living wage for the work that they're doing. So I started an internship where I have high school seniors who want to go into the medical field and teach them how to support individuals living with special needs, kind of basically build my own workforce to be custom made for the services that we provide here at Reach. Any questions so far?
We're talking about mental issues, physical issues.
There could be a blend of everything. All of our clients that I support at this point have an intellectual disability or a developmental disability that's diagnosed like on paper. That's the criteria that is required by the state so that they can receive services. And what that looks like is very different. So they all have that diagnosis, but they all have different ways that it manifests. And it's up to us, our staff, to realize how to meet them where they are and provide those individual needs in a group setting as best as we can. Does that answer your question? Absolutely. Okay.
Give us some examples, like, I know you very clearly just said everybody's different. Are there any common ones that we familiar with?
Yes, lots of autism. Yes, lots of autism, Down syndrome. Dyslexia would fall more under like a learning disability. So you can have you can have fine cognitive functioning. And so cognitive, like your IQ, you guys familiar with that terminology, like how smart are you with your IQ score? Your IQ is composed of how well you process information across various realms, if you will. So your memory, your processing speed, different things. And so we have clients, or I've worked with individuals who have fine cognitive functioning, but they just have areas of difficulty with reading where dyslexia would fall. So it would be categorized under a learning disability on paper, according to the DSM, because the Bible of mental illness is the DSM. But again, even that, I've worked with several students who have dyslexia, and it just looks very different even within that. But we have clients who still struggle with learning academic skills, so we have to incorporate that in the way that we support them. And so some of them, they may experience some symptoms of dyslexia if they don't have the formal diagnosis, and all that has to be wrapped into the continuum of care that we offer at Reach. Does that make sense? Good. Okay.
Not emotional.
I'm sorry?
Emotional issues.
Oh, we all have emotional issues, let me tell you, on a daily. And so I like to tell them, when you come into the office, it's a little bit of everything every day, and every no 2 days are the same. So in a lot of cases, we're teaching them basically how to be a fully functioning adult in all capacities, which is a lot to do. But with us having the training and the support that we need, and them coming in with an open mind and a willing heart and a supportive family, it just works a lot better. But there's a little bit of everything. So just like we have bad days and we come into work, we come to the office, they do too. And we have to deal with that so that they're not, in a bad mood and grumpy, because that affects everybody. So am I making sense? Good. Okay. Could you click for me, please? So these are some of my clients. And when I see them, I just get so happy because I genuinely love what I do every day. Typically, when I look at the population that we support with Reach, a lot of our clients are male, Black males who have been diagnosed pretty young with more behavioral disorders. But as we have gotten to a point where we're open to the idea of autism diagnoses, ADHD and what that looks like, intellectual disabilities and what that looks like, the number of individuals that are being diagnosed is increasing. However, the amount of services for them as they age is not, and not at the pace that the identification is increasing. And so that's where the gap is that I try to fill with my business and why I'm talking to you guys about it. Could you click for me one more time? Thank you. So, well, this is smaller than I thought, disappointing. But if you go to our website, which is here, reachakg.org, you'll be able to see all of the services that we bill for through the state. I wanted to put this list up here because a lot of times I'll say that I do family support services and people are like, what is that? And they don't understand, which is fair. So I wanted to give a brief synopsis of what the services look like or what they're called and a description of what they look like. So for some of our clients, we're serving them in the home setting because that's just what they need. That makes the most sense for them. And some of our clients, we serve them in a group setting in our office here in Fayetteville because that's what they need and that's what makes the most sense. Across the like wide spectrum of services that we can offer, clients can easily like transition between. It's a very fluid process as long as they have the funding for it. And that's not to say that if they don't have this code, if they don't have community living supports on their ISP, which is their individualized service plan, basically replaces the IEP when they get older. If they don't have the code, I'm still going to meet the need because that's just the right thing to do. The ethical part of me cannot let that rest unsettled. But it is important that we advocate on the agency side with making sure that they are getting appropriately funded for the things that they need to make progress and to live their best life. So could you click for me? Thank you. So this is what our clients living their best life looks like here at our office. We do a little bit of everything. One of the biggest areas that we see a lot of our clients needing support in is social skills and nutrition and health. So of course, a few of us probably gained a good COVID-15 being in the house, you know, maybe. And it was something that for some of us maybe was a bit apparent and we were aware of, and then we made some changes and we were able to say, you know what, I need to put down the alcohol, I need to put down the donuts, or whatever the case may be. I need to walk more, I need to maybe get outside. With our clients, their self-awareness is not at that level. And so when COVID happened, it was difficult for a lot of them. They were stuck in the home, eating the same 3 or 4 things and gaining a lot of weight, becoming very unhealthy. So when we started our services with the state, it was actually in 2021, February of 2021. And at this point, they've been home for a year, almost a year and a half. So we came in with a very strong passion for get you moving and get you more aware of what you're putting in your body. When we started working with the state, I was in a smaller office. We now moved to a bigger location that has a full kitchen. It actually was an old Montessori school in Fayetteville, because cooking is a big part of what we do with our clients. Not only do we want to introduce them to healthy foods, but we want to teach them how to make accessible meals. So if any of you here have kids, you know, you want to send them to the kitchen and get something without knowing that the house will be, you know, sacrificed for that meal. And with our clients, their families feel the same way. So there's a lot of need to push parents out of the way and let them be more independent, but in a safe way. So we're teaching them how to make meals in air fryers where there's a lower chance of fires kind of breaking out and burning themselves. And easy meals that are healthy and not too heavy on the carbs and the sugar. And they really enjoy it. So in addition to that, we like to get them outside. We did build a garden in the back of our office so that they can go out there, water it, see the tomatoes grow. It's a vibe, put the plants in, so cute. And then we're kind of constantly stimulating their brain and encouraging that social piece, because that's an area where they really struggle. So if you've ever been out around someone with an intellectual disability or a developmental disability, you can probably tell within 5 minutes of talking to them that they're not the typical or the more typical conversationalist. And so our goal is to teach them how to blend in a little bit more, but also be themselves, because that is the most beautiful part of who they are. So just wanted to give you guys an idea of who we serve and the variety of, or the wide range. And this is just a small snippet of the clients that we have at our office, but I just got some of my favorite pictures. You can see. Can you click for me, please? This is my capability statement for Reach. We have been in business, like I said, since 2018, but we've pivoted to family support services in 2021. So in some ways, we're almost like a 2-time startup in a sense. With that, we've been developing ways to really market what we do with family support services. And what I found to be the most important part of growing and scaling Reach is community partnerships with other organizations that help us do great work for great people. So part of why I'm here today is because I want to see if anyone here has any opportunities at your organizations or companies where you could incorporate having someone with an intellectual disability or a developmental disability, spread a little bit of their love on your organization and help you figure out how to incorporate them in what you do with your businesses. So could you click for me, please? Click again. Oh, I think that's my video. Is that the video? Oh, there we go. So is it going to play right away? Okay, good. Intro. Okay, so one of the things that we do, because like I said, we have a lot of male clients that are adults looking to just have a more fulfilling life and not sit on the couch, wake up, YouTube, eat Hot Pockets, go to bed, because that's kind of like what they do until they meet us at Reach. So when we have clients who have great strengths and skills, we like to help them get job ready. So the goal is that we figure out how we can get them pretty consistent skills that they can utilize in different settings. And then we train them with that through volunteer opportunities with community partners. So in doing so, this is one of the days where we went to Open Hand Atlanta. I don't know if you guys are familiar with them, but they're close to Howell Mill Road up in that area in Atlanta. And they provide meals to individuals with health concerns that they need certain meals to kind of manage their medical diagnoses. So we go and we meal pack with them once a month. So what part of why we do this is one, to kind of keep that partnership strong, but it's also great to have our clients learn kind of the group work required if they want to work in a grocery store or something like that. And then we could transition those same learned skills into the workforce when we put them out there to get a job. So this is an example of one of the days where we went to open hands to volunteer. And I just want you guys to see how cute they are. Okay. Hopefully it'll play. Okay, never mind. No. Yeah, when I embedded it, yeah, it clicked it, but I think it's probably because it's projected. No,
You know,
Oh, that's.
I'll share the video with you guys.
Sorry.
No, it's the most precious part, but you guys can see it later because we have plenty of videos. And we also like to post what we do with our clients on our Instagram page, on our YouTube channel as well. So I've learned in entrepreneurship, it's very easy to tell people what you do, and it sounds impressive. You throw all the right words in there. I like to just show people what we do because it's just easier that way. And also from providing support to the parents, I like to reassure them that this is where their loved one will be, out and about with other individuals who have different intellectual disabilities as well, but also with more neurotypical individuals who can model appropriate social skills for them and help them learn how to integrate their awesomeness into society so that we can all just live here doing our thing together. And it's such a vibe. So just some more pictures of them because I wanted to share my why. And this is why I'm here today. This is why I do what I do. When I get to see my clients improve in their communication, when I hear them speaking more, using more words, recognizing things, being patient in conversation, that is a huge one. Waiting their turn to respond, coming in and asking me questions and wanting to know what we're doing today, seeing them making their own meals and cooking for themselves, seeing them making friends when our other clients walk in, they're like, hi, that's not typical for them. And a lot of times when you become an adult with an intellectual disability, all of your classmates are gone. You've aged out of school. You just have your family. And unless your parents know how to help you make friends, a lot of them live a pretty lonely life. So we try to combat that. And I feel like we're doing a pretty good job, but we need as much help as we can. So thank you guys for listening, and I'm happy to take any questions that you have at this time. Hand, yes, sir. Oh, should I take this off?
We keep that one.
Okay.
First question I have is, what's the age limit, if there is an age limit for the people that you care for?
We kind of go until they no longer go with us, if you know what I mean. It's kind of indefinite. And so we consider ourselves a continuum of care. It just kind of progresses with the client. So I have my oldest client right now is 76.
Okay,
And we're taking her to doctor's appointments. We're also taking her walking. We sign her up for her senior center where we go to classes with her, get her in the pool as much as we can, get her on the little bike. She loves to do that. But making sure that we take her when she gets her food stamps to get her groceries, different things like that. Her services will look different than some of our clients who are coming to the workspace, but it ranges. My youngest client is 13. So it kind of goes, the state agencies tend to start at age 4 for individuals, and then it's indefinite at that point, so long as they have the diagnosis.
I'm thinking I'm thinking of people like that are homeless at this point in their life.
Okay.
They could be young, they could be old,
Mm-hmm.
but they haven't reached a level of understanding how to mix in with society.
Mm-hmm.
How do they get to you at this point, or do you take someone like that?
Most of our clients, I'll say the majority of them, come through the state agency. So there's a process to, I guess, get to the funding, because I don't necessarily look for individuals to pay for services because of the cost, if that makes sense. I do have self-pay clients. They've seen us out and they sign up. But when it comes to someone from that sort of marginalized background that does need that level of support, it would be steps before I think our setting is appropriate for them, because at that point, their basic needs are the most important part. So housing, food, security, safety, health care, and all those things. And so we have had to help clients find housing because they are on Section 8 and their landlord is selling the house and now they have to move in 30 days. That happens a lot to our clients. And because they're on a fixed income, they often can become temporarily homeless. Our goal is to find other agencies to fill in the gaps for them and then help them be rehomed. So someone off the street necessarily from a homeless state, we don't see too many of those clients come into our care, but that is something that we often have to avoid with some of our clients that we currently have. Thank you. Yes, sir.
How many of your staff are?
We have 57 clients, I want to say. And my staff is, we have 7 W-2, including myself and my 2 kids. And I have a good number of contractors. For the clients that we see in person in their homes, I will assign staff that's close to where they live. And one, that's a good fit because that's the most important thing, but then also that is close to their homes. And so I have a lot of educators that I work with. That's kind of like my sweet spot for staff because they understand the family system dynamic and having to integrate yourself and work in both of those. And so oftentimes my teachers that I have, they're working after school hours or weekends to visit clients, maybe on a weekly basis just to check in. We also do see a good number of our clients virtually that live further away. I have clients as far as Beaufort, Alpharetta area, Henry County, Lithonia, they're kind of all over the place. And so the ones who are close enough to come to the office come here, and the ones that we need to see in person, we go to them. And then the ones who we can see virtually and navigate their needs that way, we see virtually.
It's a lot of people.
It is.
And you said you're looking for volunteer opportunities and stuff too, or events?
Yes, we always love a good volunteer for sure. One of the things that I really am passionate about is exposing my clients to new things. So if you have a skill or a talent that you can teach them, like come in and teach them. For example, I met a young lady through Instagram who she's great at sewing. She actually made this situation here for me that I have on, right? It's so cute. So she sews very well. So she came in, brought her sewing machine, and she taught our clients how to make aprons for Father's Day. So they sewed it up. We pressed, Grill Master on it, and they were able to give it to their fathers, for the ones who had fathers in the home, for Father's Day. Same thing for Mother's Day. We made little Mother's Day totes for mom and had them do everything on the machine themselves with guidance, and it was so cute. So they all look very different based on how willing the clients were to participate. But that's the type of volunteering that I think is most beneficial. And then also having opportunities where they can come into the workspaces or different organizations like Open Hand and learn a new skill that they can take with them in different settings.
Okay. I'm not sure if it fits what you're looking for, but I'm on the United Way Advisory Board and I run volunteer Clayton County. So we're always having like food drives and events.
Yes.
We always need people. So
yes.
Definitely connect with me if you ever need some events.
We would love to come. We're on time. We're well fed. We're coordinated.
We'd love to have you. We always need it.
And we're well staffed. We pay everybody. We do at least a 1-to-1, if not 2-to-1 ratio when we're out, because it's very likely and it's very easy to lose an adult with an intellectual disability that thinks that they should go over there by themselves. And you're like, no. So some of our clients have air tags because we just need to know where they are at all times. But thank you. I will definitely connect with you.
Definitely.
Do you deal with a lot of clients that their disability renders them unable to speak?
Oh, yes. A lot of our clients have difficulty communicating, or I would say limited communication compared to a more typical individual. So I like to think some of them are select mute, they have selective hearing as well. But we also have some who in their speech pathology background did not receive services early enough. And so they're just greatly behind on how they communicate. And one of the things that I actually enjoy the most about seeing my clients grow is that their communication develops a lot, even though they're adults and people may think, oh, this is about as good as it's going to get with them once they get out of school. I've seen clients, one of my clients, he's 43 this year. He comes to the office, to the workspace. And when we first got him, he was like a bump on a log. If you could personify that, that was him. Just kind of would sit there, do whatever you ask, great receptive language. So if you say, Willie, go stand up and come here, he would come. But as far as saying, what would you like to eat today? Willie couldn't give you a lot with that. He just kind of look at you. But now not only is he cooking, Willie's our star chef. And I've had him for, since I started, so about 2.5 years now. But he will come in and he'll say hi. And I'm like, hi, Willie. And that means a lot because he often doesn't speak. So from that, we do have clients who are more on the nonverbal because they have more intensive autism symptoms. And we just kind of learn, just like you have when your child is small and they're not speaking yet, you kind of just learn how to meet those needs. We learn as well, but we're working on meeting each client where they are and developing those individual skills. And communication is a big part of that. So the patience required from staff to work with someone who cannot, an adult who can't just say what they need to say, is something that I take into account because we want to make sure that all of our clients are getting supported the best way we can. Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
The video would play browser.
Oh.
my presentation. So
Okay.
we have a-
Yay!
share the screen and-
Disclaimer, ignore all of my cute comments in the back because I just get excited when I'm filming. I'm like the mom. I'm just like, guys, get behind the camera. I think I'm gonna start it over. Oh, should I do it since I'm facing it? Okay. Oh, I see the mouse is delayed.
Oh, because it's up there, so you're not.
Hi, Facebook.
Can you see
Where-
you are? It's up. It's there. Here, hold on.
Okay, okay, I got it. I was looking at the wrong one. Is that it? Mm-hmm. How you doing, Willie? Oh, that's Willie. Those are my peeps. So when that client Stanley has no problem communicating, he will tell us everything that he needs. But our clients like Rashawn and Willie, definitely we have to, you get to learn them over time and it's easier to communicate with them. But this is just one of the examples of some of the things that we do. And this is pretty consistent. We're in the office Monday through Saturday from 9 to 4. My goal is to get them out of the office 5 days out of those 6 that we're in office. So if weather's good, we're at the splash pad in Fayetteville. We're at the bowling alley. Excuse me. We take them to the grocery store a lot because we have to teach our clients you should not pay $10 for a tomato. Like that's ridiculous, you know. And they may not know that. Or you can't go to the store and buy 10 cans of canned coffee if that's just something that you like. So helping them understand even the basic rules of society and how to walk down the aisle and not run into people. I've found that sometimes I have to teach people how to navigate with them in the same capacity. So it's important that we're, you know, integrating and putting them out into society as a group, but also guiding them and letting them learn how to navigate it in their own way. And having other opportunities with other businesses and corporate partners is really important because it just gives them something fun to look forward to. And it helps us really identify the strengths that they have so that if we do want to do a job placement opportunity for them, we can go off of that feedback, almost be like a reference point for them to say, hey, they came here, they do this skill, they're really good at it. So I think they'd be a great fit, maybe to work at Publix or to work at Kroger, Home Depot, different things like that. And that's kind of like the end goal. We want them to be more self-sufficient and independent within their own right, of course. So, yes.
First of all, I love what you do. I think
you.
this is so great. But I'm curious, and you may have said this at the very beginning and I missed it, but like what made you want to go into this business specifically?
That's a great question. I don't know if I had the control in that way. I think it kind of came to me. It was one of those things where I had great people around me kind of helping me figure out how to really maximize the degree and the skills that I had learned in grad school. And then just over years of experience working in sports camps and things, refereeing soccer camps, I've always been around people with different abilities. And I think that's something that I felt comfortable doing, but I didn't want to just sit in that comfort. So adding a business aspect to it was really a great challenge and I think a good medium. But for me, I don't know, it just feels right. Like I get up every day and I can't wait to see them. And I pick up a few of my clients in the mornings and just we have our little chats in the car, and it's just something that makes me feel like I'm doing something meaningful. And when I see them progressing, I think to myself, like, if they weren't here, like, what would they be doing? You know? So there's a good bit of responsibility on both ends of wanting to keep this going and to grow, because I know that how much of the progress our clients make at the office is because of the work that we do with them. And I think about so many of the clients that I don't get to work with because they're too far, or I don't have the staff yet, or I don't have enough resources. And so that's something that I'm continuously wanting to push, because it makes such a big difference in the clients that we support already. And I have children. I have 3 children who do not have a diagnosed disability. And I know as a mom, it's difficult sometimes just to raise my 3 kids who are more neurotypical. So I can really feel for the mothers and the fathers, the grandparents, the caretakers of these individuals who have such intensive needs every single day of their life. And they don't get a break the same way. They can't just drop their loved one off and go on a trip, because everyone may not know how to support them, especially if they're nonverbal or have limited communication. And so that's even something that is in the next phase of our business, is we want to develop a reach house that does respite care. Are you guys familiar with respite care? So basically, if any of our clients who are in our program, if their parents want to take a vacation, go to Atlanta United game and come back late, their loved one can stay overnight with us with certified staff to take care of their needs. And then they can just come to the office the next day, so they can have some time to just be themselves, separate of the caretaker of an individual with an intellectual disability. So it's fun though. Yes, sir.
I commend you.
Thank you.
You got 3 kids. You look
I do.
beautiful.
3 health children.
But it's dear to my heart too, because I have my brother-in-law. He's had Down syndrome,
Okay.
and so I understand the plight that you have, and to give the parents a break.
Yes.
And they do, and they are isolated. They really don't have friends and stuff like. So I understand all that right there, because I'm from grade school on up. He's 35 now,
Oh,
and to have him in our lives is a blessing.
yes.
You
Bring
know,
him on stage.
Yes, yes, I definitely would. I'm gonna let his mother know so she can reach out, because she needs break, from
Yes.
looking after him and stuff like that.
For sure.
So the funding that you get, and what you do is a very good thing that you're doing, because there's a lot of them out here that don't have anybody,
Yeah.
to look after them.
For sure.
And they do, to show them, to show the basic thing, the things that we take for granted is things, it's a struggle for them to do on a daily basis.
Absolutely.
And, and reach is it's a good thing that you're doing.
Yes. Thank you.
I'm glad you're out here, as somebody, and so you're a young lady, and you're out here trying to help people because there's a lot of them that's out here that have a lot of different issues that you see on a daily basis, and I'm gonna recommend this to some family members, because they do have hearts to really volunteer. And I think I would want to volunteer. I've been a chef for like 30 years. So I would love to come out and show them something real simple.
Yeah.
Because I used to try to work with my brother-in-law, and with him, to showing him different things. And when you said about their diets, a lot of them, especially Down syndrome, they don't have control over how much they eat.
The overeating.
Yeah. So they overeat a lot. So to teach them different ways to make healthy meals. So I definitely will get in contact with you to be able to come out and do reach, because this is something great. I started to pass this morning, but I'm glad I came out to hear about this right here, because people need to hear more about your business, more about it, and it will grow, because you have a heart for it. I hear it, I hear it, and you ain't just about the money.
Yeah.
Because that will come, the finances will come, the millions and billions of dollars will come.
And I'm ready. Look, where's my pocket?
It'll come, you just keep doing what you're doing.
Thank
but
you.
it was dear to my heart, because I've seen the process and how they go about and their daily, and I've seen him on jobs, and they need that support system right there.
They do.
And the family members need that support system. And that's where Reach comes in at, to support them.
Yes, for sure. Thank you for those kind words. And I have business cards. I'll hand one out to everyone who would like one to learn how you guys can get involved. But like I said, for the work that we do and the amount of time we can give those 8 hours of rest to parents, just so they can be at work and not worry about what is my child doing at home, and have they eaten, and are they even in the house? Because we have some of our clients, they're grown adults that will just walk out the door and you can't find them. So it's really important. And I believe in karma. So I do know that I am in a position where that's not my daily life, but I have family members who need help and support as well. So I want to put all that good energy back so we can all get a little bit of it. Yes, sir.
Have you reached out to other states that do what you do?
You know what? That's a great question. So I was just in Houston a couple of weeks ago because I wanted to do some market research. I want to franchise reach as much as I can. The goal is to be everywhere, including back home in the West Indies. So the services in the South are about 100 years behind. And then the services in the Caribbean and the West Indies where I was born is like non-existent at this point for individuals with special needs. So it is something that I am very adamant about getting a good system in place. And the biggest part is being able to properly staff, which is why I put so much into my internship. And it's served me well at this point. We finished our second year. Every semester I get more students that hear about it and they're like, oh, you have snacks and you're so cool and I want to do what you do and work with the clients. They market for me. And so I have 5 interns that I had during the school year who are paid interns this summer to work with my clients. But they basically had 10 months of training, which is important because this is not a, get in there and figure it out as you go type of job. We have to make sure that we're properly serving the clients. And it's been really helpful. So my goal is to kind of mimic that model in any area that I go to. So I want to spread reach to other areas in Georgia because we have clients that are so widespread that we can't get to, but also in other states as well that are definitely underserved in this area. So that is definitely on the list. And if you know how to help me get those connections, please let me know. I will gladly take those emails. Yes, sir.
So you said that, I know you said some clients pay out of pocket, but
Mhm.
some get grants, I believe you said, or
The
funding?
majority of my clients are funded through the state agencies
How
that they're a
would-
part of.
I have somebody in mind. I wanted to get in contact with you too. How would they go through the state or get funding? What's the
So,
process for that?
and so this is a big part of what I do as well. I'm not only just providing services, but I'm also educating parents. So the things that they need to do to find the funding, it's so much money sitting in this industry that they are not aware of. I think you had mentioned that earlier. So typically what I'll do is once I identify their needs and introduce myself to them, I will explain to them which services and which agencies would probably be the best fit for them because I don't want them to apply and get declined. Like that's defeating. They already don't have a whole lot of options. And so I try to be the buffer, and kind of consult in that way as well. And I'll share the links to the applications. I have good relationships with all of the agencies that I work with because I see so many clients. And typically they may have like a retired special education teacher who may take a client or two, but they're not as often familiar with working with an agency that's trying to see multiple clients and really scale the way that we provide services to the clients that they have on their caseload. So it's really afforded me a good bit of leverage with the agencies. And I'm able to, call the support coordinators and let them know, hey, this parent's application is coming. May you please consider them and let them know because they want to be a part of Reach. They see what we're doing. They know how we provide the services. And so they tend to help us get people in. So if they need funding and they would like to be a part of that, then it would just be a conversation and a shared email and to kind of get them started. Because the money's out there. And I tell the parents all the time, you deserve it. Being a parent or a caretaker of someone with an individual intellectual disability is hard work and expensive.
I think that last question answers one of our Facebook watchers, Maribel. She's usually here in person, but she said she logged in late. So she was curious if I decide to be a client, how do I pay? So I think we covered that. But then Melanie Holt, she works in the school system and wants to know if you do any work with Fayette County schools because she would love to connect you with her school's LEA.
Oh, I'm familiar with Fayette County. I actually did contract testing for them. Not as much because I've been kind of busy, if you can imagine. But I'm familiar with the school system. I'd be happy to have a connection,
Awesome.
a conversation with her.
And then, of course, our resident gardener, Kay Goff, she saw the piece about gardening and jumped right in. She would like me, if you are interested, to share her contact information with you because she would love to come and teach a gardening class.
That would be great because last year the garden didn't make it because I was in charge.
She is
And-
she is on call. She's ready.
The basic things. And I was like, oh, it's been 3 days and I forgot. And it's hot. And then everything died. And they were growing too, our tomatoes and cucumbers and things. So I would love that. Because the goal is I like to share responsibility. I'm all about delegating. And I reinvest a lot of what we make back into the business. My clients eat better than me probably. We go to Costco, we're getting good, healthy food options. We actually have a partnership with the people that do the samples in Costco. So some of the unused food that they have, they donate to the office, which is great. And so we're able to give our clients different things to eat because I don't know if you guys have noticed, like a lot of the samples are not like typical things that you would eat. They kind of give you some new things. So we introduce new foods into their diets. So for the ones who have food aversions or they're not as open to trying new things, we can encourage them like, hey, try this. And we can cook it in the office. So it's been really great for that. And I'm always trying to get as much support as possible because there's so much we can do with them. And I can only do so much. And I'm very aware of that. So the more the merrier, for sure.
Great. Anybody else have anything they'd like to add? All right.
Well,
Well,
you
we're
guys are fun. This was
only a
fun.
few minutes before 10, so that's another great session. Thank you. I've got your business card up on the screen one last time for anybody who wants to grab that information. I know you said you have some physical ones you can hand
Mhm.
out, but I hope that people will reach out to you and offer their assistance in all the ways that you asked for. I
Yes,
think really what everybody's sentiments are. You're doing a really great thing. Hope we can support you.
absolutely.
Thanks
Thank
for
you
coming in
guys.
today.
Thank you. This was fun. Yay.
Bye, everyone. We will see you same place, same time next week.